Citizen Television.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this is for the week beginning Friday, March 19th. And the significance of this too, because Mars is about to enter Rohini. Rahu, the north node of the moon, is about to enter Rohini. So we say, who is Rohini? Well, Rohini, of the 27 wives of the moon, was his favorite wife. And she's all found within the constellation of Taurus. Now, some of these Western astrologers, which is most of the show, are going to say, well, no, the moon's in Gemini, right? Now, it is not, okay? It's in the seasonal aspect of Gemini, but it's not in the constellation of Gemini. You go out and look in the sky, you're going to find that moon in Taurus, okay? So let's just get the science and the reality straight. And let's go to the history and the roots of astrology. And that's why I like to do Jyotish first, a little bit of Vedic astrology background. Rohini was a favorite wife of the moon. That lunar mansion, that nakshatra, is ruled by the moon. So it's a feminine planet. It's all within the constellation of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So that is female on top of female energy, and Rohini actually literally means red, so it symbolizes passion. So if you're in that romantic mood, and it is, spring equinox, Rohini is going to do that, and she's associated with perfumes and with nice fragrances and fruit and abundance of wealth. There's like a lot of wealth here, and she's like the hottest looking of all the nakshatras, I mean, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, anybody with any kind of moon can still be beautiful and physically appealing, but Rohini is known for being very comely, and the moon would keep going back and forth to Rohini all the time because she was so hot and good, and she's also, like, her symbol is an ox cart, and what I've noticed is Rohini people often have really nice vehicles. Really nice cars, really nice boats. As far as like sun sign in the Western zodiac, you'd look for somebody born between like the 27th of May till about the 7th of May, maybe 7th or 6th, and that would be Rohini lunar mansion right in there. But yeah, you're all. Literally, your sun was in Taurus, unless you're like over 1,000 years old or something. and so their red is the name, was what Rohini means, and it's really a symbol of passion and of beauty. And so with that, on a Friday, a Venus ruled day, I mean, this is a powerful Friday. And this is a powerful week as we're coming into a new season. And in Western astrology, of course, the moon is in Gemini. I can assure you of that, and has been since yesterday afternoon. And so we're gonna go through this whole thing here as far as other planets and other places. Let's go look and see what we have here today. Well, we've got ourselves a well, we have the moon, of course, is in Gemini, and we've got a Mercury in Pisces. We have Venus in Pisces, but Venus is going to move into Aries. So, yeah. So we've got that from last week. Sun, of course, moves into Aries 2:37 in the morning, Saturday morning. So tonight, you're going to wake up tomorrow with that Aries feeling. And I'd say this Friday is a good day for doing artwork or, you know, loving anything that you love, anything creative. It should be lovely. Other things. So Venus moves into Aries Sunday morning, and we've got Mars in Gemini right now. Mars conjoining the Moon. There's a little restlessness with that. And in the Western zodiac, Jupiter, of course, in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces. Pluto in Capricorn, and of course North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. Alright. So with that said, starting with you Aries, let's give you your horoscope for this week. So greetings Aries, welcome to your horoscope. Now, since Mars is in the first house with the Moon, I mean not with the Moon, no, Mars is in the third house rather, with the Moon. Okay, so third house Mars gives you courage. That's a good place to be right now. It's like you've got more courage, and things that affect siblings, things that affect neighbors, neighborhoods, your communication, working with the hands. That's what's happening today, you know, for Friday. And as we go into tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and suddenly it's boom, everything's springing up Aries, you know, and so the next 4.5 weeks are all about you. And so that's a better position even for the sun too. The sun feels exalted, it's growing, there's more daylight now than there is nighttime. Well, we like that. Daylight's more powerful than night. You know, one match lit in the Nevada desert at night on a clear night can be seen 50 miles away. So that shows you the power of fire. It was interesting today because someone was talking about Venus and Aries and just how wonderful it is. I mean, I'll say most of you Western Venus and Aries, it is wonderful because it's actually Venus and Pisces sidereally, which becomes the exaltation of Venus when it gets to the end of sidereal Pisces. I mean, I'm sure it's in that Western astrology it's kind of looked at as the same way, but I'll have to admit though, one of the things about Venus and Aries that they would say is that it's really good at loving yourself and getting your own needs met, okay? So that's a nice thing. So if you're a person who's constantly giving and not paying attention to yourself, this Venus and Aries transit should help you out. But, you know, since you're the flavor of the month, Aries, and, you know, you are the proverbial baby of the zodiac and the warrior of the zodiac, and you're very motivated because you're a cardinal sign, and often things go on impulse, you know. Sometimes you break things and you have to fix it later, and then you just, because you keep there's this impatience of like, I want to move forward. Okay, all right, just calm down, take a few deep breaths. You know, I was on the internet, someone was arguing with me when I said that, you know, Venus in Aries is really good at getting their own needs met. They're like, you're totally wrong, and this was a Venus in Aries person. They use that Mars combativeness to just like go, what are you talking? I was just like thinking, what are you talking about? I've only been doing this for almost, you know, for, say, decades. But it's okay. I'm still learning. I'm open to learning. You go teach me, you young, wild, not knowing yet people. All right, we're going to go to Taurus now. Greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, let's start out with not so pleasant news is that, you know, this is a 12th house transit. So the 12th house is the house of losses. And so it's like the best thing you can do for Taurus during this time is to work on your spiritual life, work on yourself, work on what your needs are. Go to a wilderness area, have a retreat. I know most of the monasteries and ashrams are still closed because of COVID, but you still can backpack or just get into a lonelier spot in the park and appreciate nature And just the more time you spend doing prayers and mantras, singing spiritual songs, just being in silence, doing good, helping others, you know, donations to the poor, all of this is going to elevate you so that when we do get to April 20th and it's all about you again, you're going to feel great. And so, but I would just like lay low for the next couple days. Take a few deep breaths and just plan on building a better you over the next 4.5 weeks as we're coming to the close of your solar year. Okay. All right, now. Well, greetings, Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, first of all, let's talk about Mercury and Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces is considered debilitated. And I mean, they would say the same in Western astrology, which is what this horoscope is mostly about, versus sidereal. And I want to warn you people, I may be changing the show to being strictly sidereal Vedic, which is non-seasonal and is constellationally more accurate. Because we're kind of moving into a new world now. And yeah. And I also think that we're a lot more immune from generalizations in Vedic astrology. But there's anybody who's an astrologer, you know, everybody wants to be right. And it's not so much about being right, but it's about leading each other to a better path and avoiding harm and obstacles and doing the right thing that makes the world a better place. That everybody's important and every one of us is every sign of the zodiac. You know that. You know that, Gemini. I know that. So this weekend, the moon's about you, especially today and tomorrow. And, but okay, so you got this North Node thing happening in the first house. And that is kind of the foreigner. It makes you feel like an outsider. And you have a desire that has no bottom. Well, you add Mars to that desire, and things could get really heated really quick. And the best thing to do is just chill out. One of the good things about the 11th house transit of Sun in Aries is this: it can bring money, it can bring some career benefits as well, better social life, you know, as things are opening up now from the lockdown. You're going to reunite with some of your people, and that's going to be soul satisfying. I think what I would warn you about is just when you're at work, in the career place, just realize that not every one of your ideas is necessarily going to be a good idea, and that's okay. It's like I would say, listen twice, speak once. That's the theme. And kind of trust your intuition on things a little bit more, because Pisces kind of likes that. I think that's going to help. And you've got the drive, you've got the power, but you've also got, there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. There's a little bit of illusion going on right now. And for God's sake, please do not digest what the mainstream media is saying, either Fox or CNN or any of them, because they're full of crapola, largely. Sorry, I have to apologize. And they get money from people to protect those people with moneyed interest. Period. Yeah, that's how it works. I don't think I surprised anyone there. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So, how does Cancer, how you feeling? All right, so I would say today is maybe one of those lay low kind of days. And so laying low today and tomorrow is not a bad thing. And I think you're going to be all right. And I think that love is the answer, but this is where you get your career going. This is where the shift happens, and that you can run your own business, you can run your own trip. Now, because the moon and Mars and the North Node are in your 12th house, the house of losses, you still need to pay attention to your own psychology, like going to a counselor. You also need to make donations to the poor, maybe do some volunteer work. You got to, you know, keep praying and meditating. Go to wilderness areas if you can. You know, I mean, for those of you who are, you know, most people where I live in the United States, even if they're wealthy, you know, which to me, wealthy, anyone who makes, I mean, with the exception of living in a really expensive part of New York or San Francisco or, you know, LA or something, anyone who makes over 100K a year, to me, is very wealthy. And you're like, oh no, I've got all these expenses. You know, it's just like, shut the F up. You know, when you cry me a river because you can't go to some third world country and exploit them for your lovely vacation, you know, because I don't have, you know, they're in a lockdown and I'm here and, you know, just, like I said, cry me a river. What are you doing to make your own place more enjoyable that you could take a vacation there? Your own community. You know, you have a lot more power and a lot more ability to make things better than you think you do. You're really underestimating yourself. So it's like readjust, you know, readjust to the situation, Cancer, and encourage other people to make their own readjustments, and you'll be doing fine. All right. Greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, this is good news. I mean, the sun is leaving your 8th house today, so a lot of things that you had no control over suddenly ease up. And you know, if you're a good student and you're listening to your teacher, if you're listening to your father, even if you're listening to me, things are about to get really good. Things are about to get better. So we'll talk a little bit about the Gemini thing. So that's in your 11th house. So it's like you really miss your people. You know, this whole shutdown, lockdown, it's made it harder for you to be with your people, unless you're kind of like me. I'm a frontline worker with my part-time job, and other people who are frontliners, we haven't been as deprived from the social situation, but we've been an eyewitness to the depressing and detrimental effects of people not having connection. And so this is a time to make connection for you. Connection is getting easier for you, at least this weekend. And even if that's just making phone calls and stuff and telling people you love them, that's going to improve your life. And there's a little bit of wealth coming, you know. We got that stimulation thing coming out. The stimulus checks are coming, and everyone's going to have a little bit more to share. And you could turn some of that little bit of wealth into something even greater. It's just doing the right thing. And also, you know, giving donations of gratitude is going to increase your wealth as this period goes on. So just think about what makes the ultimate good and act upon it. That is all you have to do, and enjoy this time, because 9th house transit is lucky, and you might actually do a little bit of traveling, and you might be learning new things, and all those things sound wonderful. Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. All right, so we'll start with the not so pleasant news first. You're not in control. I mean, let's look at this. Mercury is in debilitation. It's in your 7th house. So, like, if you're in a partnership and your partner seems a little bit confused about things, or is doing this vacillation from one thing to another, like the two fish going in two different directions, take a deep breath and just realize this is just normal. It's okay. Let them do what they need to do. You know, just liberating others to do what they need to do, and then paying attention to this right here, the heart. That is what we want, you know, because when we are true to our hearts, and when we do that meditation, prayer work, all of that work, we end up blessing ourselves. We end up giving more to others than we ever dreamed of was possible. So good things are on the horizon. But the best thing to do now, it's like donation, pray, meditate, do a little volunteer work, hang out with godly people. You follow those things, so much grace is coming your way, so much good stuff. But, you know, there may be some things that are, you know, karma that you have to deal with, sudden, you know, weird obstacles or something that you didn't expect. And if you haven't been taking care of yourself, you know, this is not a good time for health. Now, a lot of the weird stuff is happening in work and career. So when other people come off in a strange way, it's okay. Just relax, take a deep breath. Everyone wants to get back to things being normal. Some people think, you know, taking Babylon's poison is going to make everything good for you, and that's okay too. And you're like, what are you talking about Babylon's poison? Well, Roundup. I'll start with that. I'll start with Monsanto and Roundup. I'll start with genetically modified seeds that have patents on it where people can't grow freely. You know, that's just tip of the iceberg of some of the poison. But yeah, avoid those things. Thank you very much. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. Nice to be with you today. This is a wonderful time for you because it's like the sun is in your 7th house, and so is Venus is moving there too. So this is a wonderful transit. This is a time to bring more love and light in your life, even though Venus is still combust and burnt out by the sun. So your partner might feel burnt out. You might feel a little burnt out. It's okay. You know what? Space is the place. You know, one of the best things a couple can do in a relationship is just sit facing each other and, you know, maybe touching, but just breathing together and just looking in each other's eyes, just having an appreciation of all you're feeling and, you know, every part of you, like aligning yourself, chakras from crown chakra all the way down to the base of your spine, and having moments of loving appreciation and gentle touching. That could be the good thing, you know, that can be just that prelude of making connection. And that's what you want to do. And you know, Venus, rather Mars and Rahu and the moon this weekend up there in the 9th house, it's like some wisdom is being bestowed upon you, and you're going to be able to stay chill. You listen to your teachers, do the right thing, listen to your father, he's a good guy. Good things will come. Okay. We go to Scorpio. Greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. So now Mars is in Aries. So what does Mars in Aries do for Scorpio? It's like it means it's time to work out. It's time to get in shape. Yeah, I know round is a shape, but you know, for those of you that it's obtainable, you know, it's nice to get your body working as well as it can to be healthy. And it's nice to look good without your clothes on, as well as with your clothes on. You know, it's nice to have that. And it takes patience and it takes persistence. Mars generally, you know, lasts 6 to 8 weeks in a sign. And, I mean, but, you know, and so Mars right now is in the 8th house, so there's some intensity with that moon and Rahu this weekend, and I would just say, let's just keep it all chill. You know what? I'm not in control of this. I'm going to let go, but let's just take some breaths and just do the best we can. And but with Venus now, rather, in your 6th house, it's like do things to, you know, dress up at work, do things like nice, like bring cookies or something to your coworkers. That's going to help too. Onward, forward. We're moving on to the land of Sagittarius. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Jupiter in Capricorn, debilitated. Jupiter is, you know, Jupiter's actually going to move into Aquarius. Jupiter is in Aquarius. Jupiter is in Aquarius. It's in sidereal Capricorn still. It's actually, I think at some point it might even hit, well, it is going to hit the sidereal Aquarius as well later on this month. But let's just we're keeping it in the Western horoscope scope here. It's about being good with your resources and even making donations to help others, because Jupiter encourages generosity with your money. It's also about making peace with your family. Sometimes the 2nd house is family. It's all about your values. It also could be gentle work, working on your neck, face, throat. All of those things need more attention. Sun moving into Aries is really lucky for you. You actually enjoy Aries season, the seasonal Aries, better than almost anybody else in the zodiac. Venus is moving into your 5th house. Creative stuff is happening for you. It's a good time for breakthroughs. Give thanks. I'm going to hear some comments from my Sagittarius friends. I can feel that. As we head on over to the land of Capricorn. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope. This is about transformation. This is about changes. And this is about getting insights to what those changes need to be and should be. We'll go back to this. On the practical level, all of us are only as strong as our weakest links. And so scientifically, All the people that are, you know, dirt baggers and getting from the poor that you just can't stand, they're like parasites or whatever, they're you. That's you. The rich people that control shit, dictate everything that's supposed to be happening, that's you too. So, you know, most of us are in the middle somewhere, but that's all of us. And in this position, we're actually in the best place to help ourselves, to help each other, to move things forward. You're dealing a lot with resources, with Saturn in the second house. You're the planets in Gemini right now, Mars, Moon, Rahu. You got to pay attention to your health. Like, if you don't eat right and do the right thing, and you're not helping other people right now too, because you have to get to work. It's like working hard for your money time. It's going to bite you, you know. And I don't want you to get bitten. At least I don't want you to get bitten very hard. And you know, unless you like it that way. And I think there's some major improvements on their way for you, but you have to welcome them, you have to nurture them, and you know, this is about your own personal happiness this time of year, so be working on that. Alright, greetings Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. Oh, the horrors of it all. Well, Uranus and Taurus, you know, it's about doing things that excite you. Like, what are your most important assets? If there was a flood or fire or something and you had to get everything out of your house, what would be the first things you'd take? What really inspires you? Where is your, what are your values? You know, as far as, and how do you relate to your mother? How do you relate to older relatives in your family? How do you relate to your ancestry, if you know about that? Some of those questions will come up because of Uranus in Taurus. Saturn, though, in your first house, it's like, and so is Jupiter, it's like, let's move cautiously and gracefully. You know, Saturn is calling the shots. But those are the two wisest planets. You have a lot of wisdom right now, even if it's unconventional, and using that wisdom is going to help yourself, it's going to help the world, and the whole Mars, Moon, Rahu, North Node rather, in Gemini in the 5th house, it's going to inspire you to be more generous, to travel, to educate yourself, to help your children. Alright, greetings Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. Sorry we missed you last week. I was so disappointed. So anyhow, Neptune in the 1st house. It should stimulate agape love. It should stimulate a better vision. Venus is now in Aries in your 2nd house. So it's easy to spend money on luxuries. It's easy to have a big sweet tooth right now. But it's also a time where you can make money. And the sun's in your 2nd house too. So just establishing your soul relationship to the material world and how that works for you. And then the other thing would be looking at Jupiter in the 12th house, you know, it's there with Saturn and everything, and it's like, the best thing you can do for yourself is always meditate, pray, take some alone time, take some space, do a little volunteer work to help somebody, you know, whether you're helping a friend get their cat neutered, or you're helping a little old lady get her groceries, or whatever it is, it's going to add to more positive karma and connection in your life. And your resources are getting better. This thing with the Moon and Mars and Rahu and Gemini, it's paying attention to the older people in your family, paying attention to fixed resources, your home in particular, where you live, your real estate, your car, your vehicle, and doing the right thing, taking proper action without being too impulsive. Slow it all down. Feel it. Well, I look forward to being with you next week when we do this again on the Planetary Persuader. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share it with a friend. This is KozMcKev, signing out. Yay! Okay. And that was 29 minutes.